Hello there, General Kenobi. Welcome to League of Idiot Film Experts, and welcome to the 50p guarantee, where we see what DVDs you can get for 50p. There's so many films you can get for 50p, good and bad. So without further ado, let's spin the 50p wheel. Spin. So it looks like this week it's going to be Iron Man. The first ever Iron Man. Not Iron Giant. No, that's different. That's Vin Diesel. And he is Groot.
I am Groot. Groot.
And he loves family.
And Coronas.
And Corona.
More of a Corona man myself.
But yeah, Iron Man. So, Iron Man, as you all well know, this is a story of Iron Man getting blown up in a cave, building a suit, going out, building some more suits, and having a bloke fight him in a suit. Basically, yeah, so Iron Man tells the story of Tony Stark, a billionaire.
Yeah.
How much money have you got, Tony Stark? Give me your money.
A man who's got everything.
The one thing I noticed about this the most was Tony Stark as a character and how far he's come, because I didn't realise how much of a knob he was. If I'm being quite honest with you,
Yeah.
how dislikable he actually was, but in a weird way, how much you did like him.
Yeah. Financially wealthy but morally bankrupt.
Yes, but we meet him before he's made any journey, and he's just got no responsibility for his actions. He's proper carefree, and he takes advantage of all the characters around him. He's not there for an award, and he leaves Rhodey hanging there, leaving Obadiah to come up and kind of rescue the day a bit. He makes Rhodey, again, wait for 3 hours on the plane, and there's a line Rhodey says, and I think it's really linking with Tony Stark's character.
You don't respect yourself, so I know you don't respect me. You are constitutionally incapable of being responsible.
That's his whole arc.
Yeah. The only difference between him and Obadiah in the beginning is, like, if anything, Tony's woefully ignorant.
Yeah, he's
But
just ignorant.
apart from that, he's all game for it.
He's ignorant and irresponsible, and his arc is to take responsibility. But even then, he takes responsibility in a childish way, because his reaction to that is to go up and blow other people up still. So he's doing the same thing, just doing it himself.
That's right. He gets kidnapped, promises not to make any more weapons, and then builds a massive super weapon.
Yes, funny enough, that is one of the villain's lines.
Ironic, Tony. Trying to rid the world of weapons. You gave it its best one ever.
Obadiah Stane, Obadiah Stane, played by Jeff Bridges, is an underrated villain in my opinion.
He really is. He's gone under the radar. I think it's because it's one of the first ones that came out. But, he's a great hero, like for any movie, let alone a superhero movie.
Hero.
Did I shit? I knew I said hero. Okay.
He is a good villain. But
Let's roll that back 5 seconds.
yeah, so much better than I remember. Like, out of all the villains we've got so far, he is still, I'd say, mid-tier.
Yeah, like I remembered him as being a total cookie cutter villain.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
There is degrees that he is like, I am evil. And why are you being evil? Because I want to make money. And he's just kind of a businessman being a bit.
There's definitely a couple of cliches and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's compared to some of the recent villains we've got in some of the Marvel movies and
Obviously,
definitely some of the DC
well,
ones.
Well, the more recent Marvel villains, you obviously got Thanos, you got Killmonger, and they've got these deep-rooted moral issues, and they're just going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
With this guy, he is, alright, I want to make money. I don't give a who how I do it, if it's selling to terrorists or whatever. He does want to make money out of selling to terrorists.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, which I don't condone. Don't sell stuff to terrorists, kids. But he's got the conviction to carry that through. And it's only until he puts a suit on that he becomes like, oh, big pantomime, big villain. Because I haven't watched Iron Man in a while, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah,
and my memories of him was just this grey blob of a mess of
kind of cookie cutter villain.
You know, I think there might be something to this cookie line.
Ironmonger is still trash. The other characters, I mean, you got Pepper Potts.
I do anything and everything that Mr. Stark requires, including occasionally taking out the trash. Will that be all?
She does not like that reporter.
No.
She does not like that reporter.
No. Agent Coulson?
Agent Coulson, yeah, and that brings it into the... I mean, before when I first saw this, I didn't know anything about the MCU and what it was going to become, but looking back, it's obvious they were planning it from the get-go. You got your general standard terrorist characters.
It's got two generic terrorists, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got the guy with the scarred face, the guy with the beard. I can't remember their names. I'm sure they're in the comics. But for me, they're just a bit forgettable. In Rhodey, who's played by Terrence Howard in this film, who... I have to say,
he's I love him in this. I prefer him to the new Rhodey, to be honest. Like, yeah, like I know that's
not Don Cheadle and broke my legs. Don Cheadle,
Mr. Cyborg legs,
Mr. I dropped a cat. Not a cat. I dropped a cat. No, I dropped a tank.
Yeah.
No, War Machine. Yeah.
He's had a lot.
I mean, I prefer Don Cheadle, in my opinion. But, yeah, Terrence Howard was a lot better than I remember. A lot of these characters were a lot better than I remember. The one thing I'd say about Terrence Howard's character is it's so cringeworthy now because he looks at the War Machine armour and he goes, next time, baby.
Yeah, and then he never gets to use it.
He never gets to use it because the next time around, he is magically changed into Don Cheadle. He's got a brand new face in Don Cheadle's face. So, but one of my favourite characters, his name's Jensen, and it's the guy in the cave with Tony.
Yeah, he's a great character, isn't he?
Yeah,
really?
because he says to Tony...
So you're a man who has everything and nothing.
Because he's talking about family, and that's basically Tony's arc, is about not being able to take responsibility for everything that he does, and he's a big spoilt kid, basically. But and it moves him on to being something more.
It's a milestone in the franchise.
Milestone
really.
of
shit. This is why you turn on fucking phone. No one ever calls me.
The CGI still stands up as well. I was surprised. I was surprised. This 2008. This is the same year as, I don't know, but I'm going to put up some examples. Pew, pew, pew. And they are rubbish.
Yeah, they're so bad. I hated those films.
That film in particular.
Yeah,
Damn you, film.
That one right here. Yeah.
That one was all right. But no, ultimately, and also, the one thing that I forgot, and obviously I know in advance, and every single Marvel film you go to, you wait to the end credits, right? You see that little sting on the end that goes, oh, look what happens next time, or there's a funny bit, or it's, you know what I mean? You got the famous ones. This one, at the time, I did not know it had an end credit scene. Did you know there was an end credit scene?
No, I didn't. That was the best thing ever.
Obviously, it makes sense now. Explain the end credit scenes, Rob.
I didn't see this one, man. This was the one I didn't see.
Did you switch off at the end when you watched it?
I didn't know it was on. It was the first one. I didn't know to wait around.
Samuel L. Jackson appears from the shadows as Nick Fury and says, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. And watching it back, it's crazy. It's crazy what we didn't know at that time. But
that
what
sets
is now.
up for the next 10, 20 years. And we had no idea, did we?
Crazy. Another thing to look back on is the casting of Robert Downey Jr. At the time, he was a little bit of a controversial choice. I think the first choice was someone like Tom Cruise. There were a couple other names being thrown about, but Robert Downey Jr., looking back on it, and the giant he is now, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
What do you reckon of the reporter?
This reporter, I'm very suspicious of this reporter. Skrull.
So Rob thinks she's a Skrull.
I am convinced that this reporter is a Skrull. Tony Stark screwed a Skrull.
Screw the scroll.
Yes.
Hashtag screw the scroll.
I know it's 2019 and there's a lot of permissible things right now, but screwing scrolls, I don't think.
Don't sell to terrorists and don't screw scrolls. They'll just break your heart.
I don't see how it's gonna work.
Ultimately, I think Iron Man's a story about growing up.
Yeah.
And it's all about him growing up and taking responsibility for his actions. How many Marvels out of Marvel would you give it?
That was better than I remember it, actually, to be fair.
Yeah.
Strong villain, strong lead. I'd give it a good 9 Marvels out of 10.
9 Marvels out of 10 Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still say 7 out of 10. I think it's good. It's not great. I think I put a lot of emphasis on it for being the first, but objectively, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Maybe I'm giving it a bit too much credit for nostalgia points, but
You never know.
milestone in cinema, really.
Pretty much. Anyway, that's Iron Man from us.
Yeah.
What?
Hell of a film.
You can follow Rob at Rob is Fantastic, and you can follow me at film_Frankie. And you can follow the League of Idiot Film Experts at idiot_film. Let us know what you think in the comments, and anything else you want, tell me and Rob. Rob will do something. He can do a backflip.
Yeah. Tell me, I can do backflips, barrel rolls, anything you like.
Anyway, cheers, guys. We'll see you next week.
Alright. Bye, guys. Let's fucking do that again.